Hiya. So this is all David's fault, because he asked me to write about the future of retail a while back, and copy's coming, don't worry. I've been talking to a lot of people, and one of the stories that I heard regards Amazon when it was set up in the UK in 1999 in an industrial estate in Slough. And when they first started out, they would get a huge mailbag, huge physical mailbag, lots of letters. And there was a very typical letter that they received. And this letter would be from a customer, and the customer would talk about how they dialed up, they'd found this website called Amazon, they had looked around to see what was on the website, they had found something they were interested in, they had figured out a way of paying for it with a credit card or with PayPal, they'd logged off, they'd waited a few days, the postie had showed up with a box, they had opened this box, and inside the box was this thing, this object that they'd ordered. And these letters were not letters of complaint. They were letters of wonder, letters of amazement. The process had worked. This was a very new thing. Now, 15 years on, retail executives are getting very different kinds of communications. If someone's groceries show up 5 minutes before the end of their allotted slot, they very much feel, like they can send an angry tweet to the chief executive of that company. Or, they can set up a Facebook page to complain because the sea bass that they ordered wasn't sustainable as they had hoped. So I think this reflects a real kind of major change that may be slightly underestimated, which is that our customer expectations now are completely different to what they were a decade ago. We expect our goods and services to be delivered in a very different way to the way that they have been in the past. And we kind of have this convergence not just of online and offline retail, but also a convergence of technology around smartphones. So for the first time next year, the majority of people in the UK who have a mobile phone will have a smartphone. And this means that we're entering now this new kind of age of connected retail. So we start a purchase journey on one device, we update that purchase on another device, and then maybe we complete it on a third. This is the numbers from eMarketer on the e-commerce market in the UK, retail sales in 2017, 16%. Of that, mobile is going to be 6.8%. So you look at that and you think, actually, that's not a huge number. It's significant, but it's not huge. But I think what this number completely fails to acknowledge is the fact that mobile is actually going to have a huge influence in other ways through that customer journey. So things like we'll begin our purchase with search or with a price comparison. Then we'll be in store, we'll have an app, or we'll have some kind of notification from the retailer while we're there. They will offer us a better price if we buy that product there and then. So where does this leave retailers in the real world, in bricks and mortar? Well, if you believe these stats from a startup on the West Coast in California in the loyalty space, in a pretty good place, because if you can get someone to walk into your store, there's a good chance actually they will buy something. So I think the retailers really need to think of themselves more as a kind of a platform, as a technology-neutral, agile marketplace, where they really think about kind of curation, delivery, and payment as being aligned solely around customer need. And here are the opportunities that we're seeing. First of all, pricing. So maybe you give someone a discount if they come into your store and they don't take away the good there and then. Maybe you give them 10% off if they pick it up tomorrow, 15% off if you can send it to them in a couple of days. Payment. Mobile has taught us one thing, that people will pay for a service monthly. 80% of our grocery shopping is repeat purchase. So we can maybe have a system whereby grocers will offer customers a discount if they sign up for that 80% of their grocery shopping to be done with that particular retailer every month. Offers, as I mentioned, if you're in store, you've got your mobile device, they can send you great offers. Curation. Generalist retailers like Amazon obviously have a vast product range. That's what they do. But if you're a retailer, you can actually have something quite valuable that's different, which is a point of view. You can say, I don't know, we don't have 38 printers, but we have 10 great ones, and we can tell you which one is right for you. Service. So you can copy most things. You can copy product, you can copy delivery, you can copy design, you can copy on price. But what you can't copy is customer service. So that's where, bricks and mortar retailers really have an opportunity to create a third space, a space where people want to walk into in order to drive sales. So, sorry, only British people will get this. I didn't even like this show anyway, but future of retail, it's probably going to be a little bit like the past in the sense that we just have to get to know our customers intimately and base our businesses around their needs and predict, almost before they do, what they need. And I guess the final point is that people get kind of hung up a little bit about geography. And I think the final message would be that where the transaction happens isn't the prize. The prize is going to be how you affect that purchase using digital. Thanks very much. Cheers.